Not going to get out of chapter 4 tonight, just a heads up warning. We're going to be in 4, but not out of 4. And 4 is a great encounter, Jesus and the woman at the well. So I want to take some time and deal with some text. Before I do that, here's our just a lead-in thought, okay? Because last week we got to the end of the lesson and we dealt briefly with Jesus bringing up the fact that she had 5 husbands and was living with a man that's not her husband. There's a little ambiguity there in the Greek. Are these her husbands? Were these just her lovers? We don't know. It appears to be husbands because of the term Jesus uses back to her. The man you're with now is not your husband. It would be odd for Jesus to say the man you're with now is not your man, though he could. It would kind of hold the same weight. But for purposes of argument, she's had 5 men, and the one she's with is not the 5 she's had. And good conversation Jim and I were having today. He shared something I thought I would kind of open with. I thought was a really good thought, is that Jesus addresses that which she identifies with the most, this fact that she's had this broken past. And she no doubt carries that with her, and she carries it with her every day, and she definitely carries it to the well. And it might be the reason she comes to the well at midday rather than a.m. or pre-dawn, is she drags this identity everywhere. You really bring your whole world with you when you enter into a scene. When you bring your whole world when you enter into a room. Everything you've ever done comes with you. It's how you deal with everything you've ever done that makes a difference in the room you're in. But everything you've ever done walked into that room. The failures and the successes and the pains and the joys and the dreams and the hopes. And who you are tomorrow is not in that room. But who you were yesterday is in that room because you carry it with you. And every encounter that Jesus has with people, everything they've ever had is walking into that room. And that makes the encounters with Jesus, to me, kind of jump off the page. You watch how Jesus deals with people who are dragging all their baggage into encounters with him. And don't dehumanize the people Jesus speaks to. It's one thing, we talk a lot about not dehumanizing Jesus, because we talk about, he's thirsty and he's tired. Look, he sits down, he asks for water. Let's humanize Jesus. Don't dehumanize the people he's with. They are not spectacular people. They are shockingly normal people. And they are broken and flawed, like all of us. And when we lose that, we lose the sense of reality of these gospel stories. And here's a woman with a past, and she drags that past to the well every day. And the fact that she comes at noon might be the number one feature of her past. And I got to be here by myself, and I don't need any lip from all these other women, and I don't need them looking down their noses at me, and I don't need them reminding me of who I am. And maybe I need a break from this guy. I live with a guy, but I won't marry him, so what's that all about? What does it say for my lack of commitment now or his lack of commitment to me? I don't know. I know that I don't have anybody else to turn to, and then there's this man, Jesus, who says, why don't you give me a cup of water? And these worlds collide, and I like to read the Bible that way because I want to keep that human element there. The realism of you walking everything you are into your encounter with Jesus. And trusting that an encounter with Jesus can cause you to walk away different than you walked in. And I said a moment ago, your whole life walks into the room, but your tomorrows don't walk into the room yet. You haven't walked into those tomorrows. But an encounter with Jesus, you walk into a different tomorrow. This woman's going to leave her water pot. She walked into the well with a water pot because she come to get water, and she walks out without a water pot because she walked out with a different destiny. And that's the encounter with Jesus. And that can't be lost in all of our deep theology and all of our Greek and Hebrew and parsing words and tenses and all of our eschatology and all of our trying to figure. We can't lose the human element of Jesus causes people to have a change of destiny and a change of purpose, and they drag their yesterdays into the room and they change their tomorrows. And if we lose that, then Christianity is heady and high-minded and theological, and it's useless to women who's got a past and men who are blind. And to me, that's still the beauty of this gospel. That's the Jesus. As much as I talk about my religion growing up and all the stuff I did, what kept me in this was that's the Jesus I met. And that's how I encountered him, the Jesus that you bring your whole history into the room with you and you walk out with a new destiny. And that kept me moving forward because I thought that Jesus is real. And I don't have to prove anything because that's the encounter that I have and I hope to have, even to this day, daily with Jesus. And I don't want to go so overboard sometimes with, I got to be careful how I say that. That's probably the wrong way to say overboard with your identity, but I don't want to so focus on who you are that we stop losing the wonder of encountering the man who takes care of who we were. Does that make sense? Because we can really focus on, hey, you're in grace, here's who you are. Stop saying you're a sinner. You're a saint. But if it's useful to remember that you met him at a well and you were broken and that you walked away not broken. And if you forget that, you've lost a major moment in your life that nothing else in your life will ever be as big as. That's the faith moment. That's the Thomas you believe because you have felt and seen, but blessed are those who believe and don't see. Don't lose that moment.